Not again. Last time it took forever to get over tennis elbow.
And that experience has taught me something. A lot of the time, it's the stress that's been building over multiple throws and multiple rounds. And most of us do very little to prepare the elbow and the forearm before we start throwing. The forearm is doing a lot of work on every backhand and every forehand throw. These are 6 movements that take less than 5 minutes. Start using them now, before the tightness starts affecting your throw. Last time we worked on the shoulders. Today, Dr. Pannell is moving further down the arm, to the elbow and the forearm. These are dynamic movements. Keep them controlled. Don't force anything into pain. Let's get into it.
Yeah, the next stretches are going to be mostly focusing on the forearms. These stretches generally feel very simple. It's also something that you can do really quickly, really good to do prior and post round, especially if you start to develop some tennis elbow, golf foot elbow type situations. The first one that we're going to go after is a forearm extensor stretch. It's going to sound a little counterintuitive, but we're going to move into extension. And by moving into extension, we're actually going to stretch the flexor muscles. We'll start with our hand directly in front. Cohen's going to grab on right here. And so we want to make sure that we're grabbing all of the fingers, not just the tips. So what Cohen's going to do is he's going to slowly move into extension, and he should feel this stretch all the way through the base of his forearm, into these flexor muscles. These are all going to be repetition based. We want to come up to a complete hold and then relax. The reason we do these as repetitions is because it's more of a dynamic movement that we're going to be going through while we're playing. So you've probably seen people do these for 15, 20 seconds at a time. The hold stretches, they're okay, but if we're going to be moving this into more of a dynamic, we need to be stretching dynamically. So he's going to come up, move into a full flexion, then relax completely off of that. He can go into a little bit of flexion if he wants to, but he doesn't need to. And then he's going to redo the process. The next stretch is the exact opposite of this. He is going to take his hand, he's going to take the other one, sit it directly on top, and then he is going to move into flexion. This is going to be the extensor side of things. He will feel this directly on top. If you feel these a little bit more down in the tendons or in the wrist, that's understandable. Some people are a little bit more sensitive, or if you have a history of things like carpal tunnel, we may feel a little bit of numbness or tingling as we do these in the fingers. If you feel that in excessive, the stretch may not be the most beneficial for you. It's going to be repetition based. He's going to hold this for 2 or 3 seconds and then come back out of these.
The first 2 movements work opposite sides of the forearm. That's why I wouldn't skip either one. One side may feel tighter depending on how you throw, but I would still want both sides ready before I start throwing hard.
The next stretch is a little bit more in depth, and we're going to break this down. These are going to be stretches for the extensor muscles. They are a little bit more intense, so I want you to be careful and make sure when you're doing these stretches that the other ones feel okay. So we're going to bring both our hands out in front of us. Cohen is going to take one hand, whichever he prefers to stretch, cross it over. And at this point, he's going to lock his fingers together, and then he is going to pull. Whichever direction you pull towards, that forearm is going to be the one that's stretched. Just like we've been talking about, these are repetitions. So to undo it, he does not need to completely undo everything. He's just going to relax. Now, the opposite to the stretch is the exact reverse. He just takes the other hand, flips it right on top, and pulls the other direction. The next stretch that we are going to look at is going to be what we call prayer stretch. Now, there is a couple variations to this. We'll teach you the yoga version quickly, and then we'll move into more of the meat and potatoes of what the stretch looks like. Cohen is going to move out in a big, wide pattern, and then he's going to bring his hands together, and then he's going to bring them straight down through his chest. So we'll go through this one more time just to reiterate. All the way up, bring the hands together, and then straight back down. He's going to feel this stretch all the way through the forearms. Now, you don't like that version of the stretch, you don't want to get the yoga involved, or you have a shoulder problem, it's more than okay just to bring your hands straight together in front of you and just pull straight down. Same exact stretch, you may get a little bit deeper here. We're just going to come down into about 3-4 second hold and then come back out of it. You don't need to come reset every single time. He can come back to neutral, get a big stretch, and then come right back up out of it. The opposite version of the stretch is the reverse prayer. Cohen is going to start with his hands directly in the middle, and then he is just going to move up towards his chest. You're going to get the opposite. You're going to get that medial forearm flexors. He does not need to come completely out to neutral. He can if he would like to, but he just needs to relax tension on those muscle groups. The last stretch that we're going to teach here is just weighted rotations. I would recommend getting something with a weight. This is just a 1-pound ball. But what Cohen's going to do is he's going to take this in his hand, and he's going to drop it out to the side, and then Cohen is just going to rotate. He's just going to shake that ball. He's just going to get all the muscles of his arm warmed up, muscles that do pronation and muscles that do supination. So just a little bit of a way to warm the muscles up pre-throw.
Dr. Pannell is using a 1-pound ball. I use my 5-pound club because that's what I have access to, but I grip it on the side near the middle, not on the end. That keeps the leverage controlled while I rotate my forearm the same way. This is still a warm-up. You should finish feeling loose and ready to throw, not tired.
So what causes elbow tendinitis?
Elbow tendinitis, it's usually a repetitive overuse exercise. So people that like to backhand, if they've got a hard whip and it's a repetitive overuse, say they had a minor tweak and it never fully was able to heal itself, will tend to get that a little bit. People that are more forearm throwers, myself included, what will happen is you'll get a little bit too much forearm whip. You can get that medial forearm flexor to overactivate, but we usually see this with somebody that has had a minor injury and it never was fully able to recover, and then we have a problem. Then you get to come see me.
The big takeaway is simple. Don't wait for your elbow and forearm to start aching before you give them some attention. Pick 2 or 3 of these warm-up movements, keep the repetitions controlled, do them before you play and again after the round. It only takes a couple minutes, but it can help you stay ahead of the problem and stay on the course. Let me know in the comments, does your forehand or backhand put more stress on your elbow? Because the more prepared we are, the longer we can keep playing this game. If you're a Masters player trying to play smarter and play longer, this channel is built for you. Subscribe, and I'll see you Monday. Play smarter, play longer.